My name is Beth Hessel-Robinson. I'm working on a PhD in U.S. history at Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, Texas. My research topic is looking at religious conflict and cooperation between Buddhist and Protestant Japanese Americans, Protestant Japanese Caucasian missionaries to Japan, and the War Relocation Authority with interned Japanese Americans in World War II. I'm looking at a particular organization, the Protestant Church Commission for Japanese Services, which was an agency of the Federal Council of Churches and Home Missions Council. And their papers, many of their papers are located here. Many of the missionaries who worked through that organization were former Presbyterian missionaries in Japan, and their files are kept here at the Presbyterian Historical Society as well. The staff has been wonderful. Fantastically helpful, pleasant and cordial, going out of their way to help me find some boxes and sources and files that I wasn't aware of, even going through the binding file. It's a beautiful location to work. Philadelphia is a wonderful place to come and visit. It's been a great experience. I think there's been more than I expected to find in some ways. So, some of the stuff was different. I was hoping to find that the national women's groups were involved in Japanese American internment issues, and I'm finding that material is not here, that it was at the local level. So I didn't find that, but one thing that surprised me is that I found that these individuals who are involved in the Protestant Church Commission have their hands in almost every aspect of anything to do with Japanese mission in the United States, as well as foreign missions going back 20 years before the war and 10 years after the war as well. So they're very important people in the life of Presbyterian missions and world missions. One of the things was how interconnected they are, that everywhere I look, any file I pull up, certain names and certain people and certain issues keep coming up again and again and again. One thing that surprised me was this commission was based on the West Coast, and there was a lot of conflict between them and the Federal Council of Churches and not so much the Presbyterian Church, but the Federal Council of Churches in the East, which I'm a historian of the U.S. West, and we talk about the conflict between the West and the powerful East. And so we find that even here in church issues, which is very fascinating to me.